Hello YouTube, today we're learning the oiling out technique. All it is just scrubbing medium right into the surface and then wiping any excess away. And we're doing this just so we can increase the flow and also so I don't have to worry about ratio of medium to paint. I was thinking that maybe this technique would help me reduce my brush strokes that showed up from my lighting, but it didn't really work out. So as you can see, the room is now changed. We're over here now. My bed is right next to me. This is pretty tight. I don't like this setup as much, but if it's for the purpose of demonstration, I'd rather have this lighting set up. Anyway, today we're adding details and trying to get more coverage over the space and try to really define where stuff is as far as detail goes, but don't get too ahead of yourself. This is still just all the basics that we've been doing. I would have put this into my last video, but I have too much footage to work with, so I'm gonna just cut it, and this is the video. This is the video for today, so on with the painting.
Alright, today we're going to be using Gamblin Solvent for medium. Instead of mixing it into the paint, we're going to be scrubbing it into the surface of our painting. And when I say scrub, I mean really scrub. And you don't want to put out too much of this medium, like a small dot. And we're just going to scrub it in. This will also clean up any surface grime that might have accumulated on your painting between sessions. And then, after we're done scrubbing the medium into the surface, it's going to act like a liquid. It's going to wipe away excess medium from the surface. Last time we used this medium, I ran into issues where I was having hard brush strokes that were catching glare from the light. And in this painting, I do get frustrated, and I have to move everything around in the studio. I found out that where I am in the studio, the lights are from a ceiling fan, and they act like a spotlight on the paintings. So when I do these paintings in the future, I'm going to place my easel directly under my ceiling fan light. So today we're just using the same colors we used in the previous tutorial. Ivory Black, titanium white, and burnt umber. And we're going to be putting in textures in the skin, and we're going to ask ourselves the question, which is more subtle? And I'm going to be looking at my photo at the same time as I'm painting. And in this video, you're also going to see me get frustrated. By the time I get to that point, it will have been probably an hour and a half of working in late July. My room is really hot. I had my AC off so I could possibly use the audio from the video, but even then, it still didn't work out. So what we're doing is just putting in shadow colors again. And I'm picking a value that's just slightly brighter than the shadow colors I originally picked, because we're going to be glazing in future videos. And that's going to deepen depth of this painting, which will darken it. So when you're doing this technique, you might want to shoot for a little bit brighter than intended, because when you go to glaze, it will darken. And I'm hoping for October I'm going to be doing expressionist painting. I don't know if I want to call them tutorials. I'm just going to call them paint-alongs. Anybody can paint along with me. We're not going to worry about realism or detail or any of that. We will still be focusing on proportion and form. But for an expressionist painting, that's not very important. Most of this painting, I'm working on details within the iris, looking at the shadow on the eyeball in the photograph and at my painting and asking myself what is more subtle. That's the question that doesn't get asked. If you follow Draw Mix Paint on YouTube, that's one of the tips and tricks he gives for painting. Because when we as artists make stuff, we tell ourselves that I did it so it's right, and someone else looks at it, they're going to see immediately what's wrong with the painting. So that's like one question that never gets asked that you should ask yourself. And when we're adding texture in the skin, especially in the light regions, I don't know why I'm calling it regions, the lighter planes of the face, I'm dappling in my, not white, but my lighter colors. It's not colors, we're working with black and white, but you know what I mean. And in this tutorial, I am going to get frustrated very soon, and I'm going to shut up when this happens. Which I think is coming up now.
I should just do the eyelashes. Oh, it looks worse. It doesn't look like it's supposed to. Oh, why did I do this? Why did I do this? It's hot. I don't want to do this now. Oh, why did I do this?
Ordinarily, I would cut this, but I think it's important that
I just continue. That's all I can do.
You all see my frustration, because we all get frustrated, and that's going to happen a lot in the beginning. And I'm no master.
It's worse.
I have an art background, so I know little
so fucking frustrating.
Tips and tricks.
Okay, my brush is too dirty. Oh, I hate this. It looks bad.
Also, with this painting, I've been working on cleaning up my solvent jar. From now on, I'm taking my brush cleaning outside, and during my painting sessions, I'm not using any solvent other than for the purpose of using as a medium, not for brush cleaning. Because what happened was my solvent jars, I waited for the pigment to settle, and they did settle. But now my solvent jars are yellow, and I think that's from the linseed oil mixing in with the solvent, and instead of falling to the bottom, it just became a mixture. And I could probably use that for a medium. I'd probably add more oil to it, but I don't know. It took a lot of time to clean up. So from now on, I'm going to get most of my paint out of my brush on a towel before it ever touches my solvents. Because I want to get at least like 10 paintings out of a solvent jar before I have to clean it. With this painting, I'm not even finished. And already it's been a nightmare to clean up my paint cans. Okay, this is where I'm gonna get really frustrated. I decided to go with a liner brush.
No.
That was not the way to go.
This is the worst idea. Worst idea. Abort mission.
I started this painting
no.
loose, and I didn't take
Oh,
my own
no.
advice of staying
Oh.
loose. I got too tight.
It
I
looks
tried
bad.
to make individual
just
lashes,
blend
and immediately on the first stroke, it just looked wrong. Right now, you're just seeing my disgust. Trying to blend that eyelash just back into the eyelid to make it disappear, because I really did not like how it looked. Later on in this video, and it doesn't get picked up because unfortunately my camera, I'm also having issues with my camera. It didn't pick up all of it.
Looks worse. No.
But when I did the eyelashes instead, I used a much larger brush than a liner brush. It was a hog hair bristle brush, and because the hog hair bristle brush is not like perfect like a synthetic brush, have those flyaway hairs.
I can't even tell what I'm looking at anymore. It's like every
I don't take
fucking
my
way
own
there's a
advice the
streak.
wrong way. Anyway, it has flyaway hairs, and when I'm doing the brush strokes, the effect happens automatically that individual eyelashes are right there, and you'll see later on in this video, this eye does get eyelashes. Because it wouldn't look right if it didn't have eyelashes.
It's all money.
At this point, I think I turned on my AC. Because I was getting really hot. I wasn't feeling great during this time either.
So fake, dude. No, it should've just not even fucking did eyelash.
Amazingly enough, on the camera, I'm not seeing harsh glare lines from the light, but in front of that easel, while I was recording this, it got to a point where I was getting so frustrated that I couldn't see straight. And I should have taken my own advice before and walked away, but I really just wanted to push through this tutorial. Right about here is where I'm most likely going to give up. I'm using a liner brush to make individual eyelash hairs, and I'm trying to follow the photo, but they just look like brush lines. It doesn't look like, it's not getting the effect that I want. And later I figure out that I was able to get some detail with a larger brush than a liner brush. Usually I go towards the liner brush, but there are big brushes that can do other effects, and I found that with a hog hair filbert brush.
I've gone this far. I can't do this. I just can't.
You can hear my
Screwing up.
agony.
Oh my god. I gotta stop. I can't do this. I can't do this. This is beyond my level. Oh.
When you get frustrated, it's good to walk away. But sometimes you just get too deep down the rabbit hole.
I'm done. I can't do this. This is horrible. It looks absolutely bad. Oh, why did I even try? Why did I even try?
It
I
actually
should have left it alone.
doesn't
Fuck eyelashes. I shouldn't have even done them.
Up close, when
I'm
you're
dying now. This is
profanity, watch your
killing me to see it
profanity.
now look like a fucking child's drawing.
Yeah, up close, you might look at something
It was
and it
looking
doesn't
so
look
good. Now I
right.
ruined it. I shouldn't have even went back and tried to go over this. I should have just
Sometimes you do
forgot
have to
about
walk
even
away
trying
and you
that,
realize what you
attempt
did
that.
was not as bad as you thought, and that you could fix it.
Why did I do
I
it?
bet you the way I could have fixed this
Why?
was probably blending it upward. Probably would have made it look fuller.
I'm done.
I think that's what I do
No
because
more of this. I'm done.
I took like a 4-hour break after this, and I came back later this day. Okay, we're now at nighttime. I moved everything around. Now I'm directly under my ceiling fan, and boy, did this become a lot easier once I did that. Because now I can see everything. The camera's picking up everything perfectly. Right now I'm still just making subtle changes and blending some stuff in, softening edges. A lot of the times when something looks like a harsh line between two values, what you can do is place your brush between those values and push them around a bit, and it will make that harsh line reduce by a lot. Also during this, I did lose some of my blacks on placing my black in the crease of the eyelid, because you still don't want to lose that. And I'm also out of footage now, so this is the Disgusting Beauty. Like, comment, subscribe. We're out.